Hey guys, welcome back to Just Fixing Garage. I'm here with Kevin, and today we have, it's either a 2006, 2007 Honda Odyssey. I don't remember which. I'll correct it in the little words at the bottom. But I looked at it about a week ago for an AC issue, hooked up my gauges to it, and we could see that there was equal charge between the low and the high side. And not only that, I mean, that's typical when it's not running, but we did see that when we turned the AC on, the AC compressor was running and it wasn't making a difference. So for that, I diagnosed it's likely the AC compressor is bad. So we're going to go in today, change the AC compressor, pull the vacuum and give it a recharge. And we'll walk you through the steps we're doing. I will note that this had a charge on it and you need to get these professionally evacuated. You shouldn't be just, it's illegal to just vent this to the air. So the first thing I'm doing, and I'll show you, is I'm gonna show you in a second, but make sure that we're out of pressure, like there's nothing in here, we're good to go. I told them they need to get it done. I don't know if they just wanted to go to a back alley and do it, that's fine. It's not me, but anyway, we're gonna get started, guys, so follow along. All right, guys, so first thing I did is hooked up my gauges. It says I'm reading 9 PSI, but I don't think that's true because, well, I guess maybe there's a little bit of residual in there. But I mean, if this was like 40 or 50 or reading like 100 and something, like equal with that, I'd say it had a charge, but we should be good to go. I've had ones that get evacuated come in, and I don't know if it's just like remnants of pressure gets built up and it's just air. But either way, we're good to go on working on this car. Just make sure you check yours first, so when you take off the compressor, you're not getting splashed in the face with this. It can be dangerous if you get it in your eyes. But we'll get started. We're gonna put the car in the air. Okay guys, we are looking at the front passenger side. We've got our AC compressor, which is clearly visible here. And we're gonna be taking out our 4 bolts. We've got 1, 2, 3, and a 4th one up there. We also have to first get our tension off the belt. So I'm gonna be looking at that. But if you're wondering where the AC compressor is, it's gonna be at the bottom. Once we get the lines off and the bolts and the tensioner, we'll be taking off this bracket so we can slide it out. So we'll show you the tensioning part. We'll walk you through each step and the sides of everything. But this is definitely going to be something that you can do on your own in your driveway. Okay guys, hopefully the fan noise isn't bad. So to get your belt off, you're going to be putting a ratchet on a bolt that's sticking out. Ours is pretty rounded, so it's a little scary. But once you get on there, you can use your ratchet or a longer breaker bar and turn it left, like loosen. And while that's getting pressure, it's relieving the spring so you can pull the belt off. So let me check. Kevin, what size is that?
It was a 19.
So we put a 19 on there. Now granted, ours was rounded, so maybe it's a little different size. Someone's definitely taken this off several times, but 19 is what you're gonna need for us. Getting it on there and then turning it left, we'll take the tension off the belt and we popped it off the AC compressor. So we're gonna move on, start taking off everything else we need to for this and see where it gets us. All right guys, I'm gonna leave you running while we do this. Didn't mean to kick you, sorry. We do see that the plug for it is focused right there. If you look straight, we've got our plug for it right here. So we'll be taking that off. I don't know if you can even see. Sorry, but yeah, that's the plug for it, but we'll get that out of the way. Again, we don't mind if we break that plug off the old one, it doesn't really matter. We're going to be taking off the lines and then taking the 4 bolts out. And then we're taking out this bracket after that so we can drop it down. So we'll keep filming and you can just follow along. All right guys, we are working on the lines right now. They look like they're both to a 10 millimeter. We're gonna take off the line with the exposed stud first, so we can drop that line out of the way. And then we should be able to get into the other line that goes in at an angle. Now it looks like maybe the tensioner is tied to this part. I gotta see when we try to drop it. I can't really tell. I mean, on the compressor, I don't see anything that would mean it bolted into it, but we'll just have to see.
Deep 10.
Yeah, deep 10. So deep 10 millimeter for the one line.
I don't have a deep 10. You have a deep 10?
You don't have a deep 10?
No, my set is a deep 10.
What about mine? We got both the lines disconnected. We may have been able to do that. Look at that oil and stuff in there. We'll be putting new oil in it, but we may have been able to wait until it came down, but for us it was just whatever we could get to them. They're both 10 millimeter bolts that you can get in there and take out. We used a 1/4 inch ratchet because we had very tight clearance. And now we're gonna get to the 4 bolts that hold the actual AC compressor on. Again, I think that there may be something else bolted to it from the top. I've got to see when we get it out. I can't tell what that tensioner is mounted to. So if this doesn't just come down, then we'll know that there's another piece to this. But otherwise, we're hoping we can drop it down. We've already loosened our bracket here. Which size were they, Kevin?
On the bracket?
Yeah.
18. Yes.
Yeah. So we actually just loosened this bolt here. We put a jack under here because apparently this is like a support structure, and this is just more for, less support as big as that bolt is. Anyway, we took these 2 bolts out, then loosened to the 3rd bolt, and then we have to swing it around. So that's out of our way enough where we should, after this compressor is loosened, be able to drop it off. So this is honestly, it seems like it's gonna be pretty cut and dry.
Socket you need to take off the AC compressor is a 12.
Really? That's a weird size.
12, yeah, I thought it would be bigger.
4 12 millimeter bolts?
Yep.
All right, sweet.
They're pretty long as well, too.
Yeah. Oh, you already got one out. Okay.
So, take out them 4 of the 12 millimeter bolts, and the AC compressor seems to just slide right on down. Just pop it on out of there. Hopefully we can get the slide down here. There she is. So, 4 bolts, boop, 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 comes right on down.
Okay guys, don't mind the messy table. We have got the old AC compressor off, and we were just comparing the 2 parts. Everything looks the same, except what you'll notice is this has a different bracket on it that we need to transfer over. So it looks like it has 2, maybe 5.5 or 6 millimeter bolts that we're gonna have to take off and transfer this piece over to the new one. I believe this probably has something to do with having rear AC or something along those lines. Either way, we're gonna transfer that over and get it over to this part. And just to summarize, there is only 4 bolts holding this in. Took the tensioner off with the belt, and we took the lines off. When we didn't pull the plug yet. This just kind of came off. We're gonna have to get our plug unplugged so we can put the new one in. But otherwise, this was so far, pretty easy. So we'll get these parts swapped over. We have a seal kit. We'll make sure it's a 7 millimeter.
732.
7/32. Okay, so that fits it good.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's a foreign car and you're using an American size. Whatever. Hopefully they don't break. Nope. Good. Okay. So get it swapped over. We have a couple new O-rings and stuff we're probably going to use. So follow along, guys. Thanks. Good. All right, so let me make sure the camera can see it. We got the piece off. It does have an O-ring. We bought a whole pack of the steel kit for this to make sure we had everything we needed. It's part number 1321278 from Global Parts Distribution. So we're going to take this O-ring off, match it up, get a new one on there, and bolt it up to the new one. Okay, sorry, I had a phone call. We're still swapping one part over to the other. We put a new O-ring on there. Make sure you get AC rated O-rings. They're usually green. Don't go with like a standard black one. I leave like the oils and stuff in the AC system and tear those up. You don't want to do that, and we got our part swapped over. So we'll have to look at our lines, Kevin, and we'll have to find the O-rings as well on those. So let's take a quick look. We got an O-ring on this one. We'll pull that off.
Match it up.
No reason to use the old ones, man, ever. So go find one that matches that. And then I'll pull the top one off. I think the top one's gonna be the big one. But this is stuff that some people don't do, right? Like, you don't do a new O-ring, it might be fine. But what if it's not?
Then you have to do the whole job again.
Yeah, there's the bigger one. You got another one? People think AC compressor work is real bad, but it's usually not. If you can get to the part, it's not too bad. Yep, you got it right.
Yeah, she's a little tight to get in.
And you got the old one out, so you can get the new one in.
That's probably how I broke the thing.
All right, so Kevin's working his way, getting it up in there. Broke what thing, the wire?
Yeah.
Oh, you just didn't see it.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not even gonna plug it up yet. So first thing we're gonna do is get all the bolts started, lined up. Then we'll tighten everything down. Then we'll hook up our hoses and we'll hook up our wire. Then we're gonna have to lower the car and put a vacuum on it. You know, you wanna suck these systems for at least 30 minutes, if not more, to get all the air out of it and the atmosphere or whatever. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, did you have different size bolts for this, Kev?
For what?
Oh, that's the brass. Okay.
It's all the long ones, yeah.
Okay, Kevin has got the new compressor in there. Now we just need to put the lines on. We have put new O-rings and lube them up. And we are going to use the new bolts that I came with to put them in. That way we don't have to worry about any threading issue. Check what size these are. These 10 as well. Okay guys, so I ran a vacuum, I ran my vacuum pump on this for probably 45 minutes to an hour. Then I closed it, and it's been about 15-20 minutes closed and the needles haven't moved. That's just kind of like a quick, easy way to see if you have any leaks. So far it seems good, so I'm gonna try recharging this, see if everything works the way we expect it to. For this vehicle, let me look at what it says for refrigerant. There's usually a tab somewhere. If there's not, I'll have to Google it. Oh, here we go. So, let's see what it says on here. Air conditioning, refrigerant type, we already know, 134A. So it expects 24 to 28 ounces. These are 12-ounce cans, so I'll do 2 full ones of that, these cans, and then see if it needs a tiny little speckle more, but that'll get us right to our minimum. So let's recharge it with the AC on full blast and see what happens. Okay, engine's running. I put in 2 24-ounce cans plus a spritz of another can, which puts it right in its happy range, which is good. I'm not feeling any leaks at the valves. This is going to be one of those jobs where we're just going to have to keep an eye on it, because I can't predict if there's a leak somewhere else now that it's pressurized. And that's going to be the case for anything you work on. It's a pressurized system. It's only as strong as the weakest link, and in this case it was the compressor that was failing. And it's nice and cold in the car. I'm sure if we start driving, oh yeah, that feels good. It'll get even colder, because these things work better when running. But all in all, this should be one happy mom that can keep her kids cool. So anyway, thanks guys. Hopefully that helped you out, and enjoy. See ya.